Hey gang, Nate Bear here, lead technical tactician for Monument Traders Alliance and Trade of the Day. And in today's video update, I want to go over the SPX, the QQQ, why I think it's sort of tough to chase here. And then I want to go over a fresh trade setup that I'm watching for entry possibly, late this week. All right, so let's dive right in. So the first thing I want to talk about is the QQQ. And this blue line that you can see right up here, that represents plus 3 ATR. We've talked about that before, kind of in through here and in through here. But what that means is ATR stands for average true range. And the QQQ, again, is extended. It's at plus 3 ATR. So indexes have a hard time when they are 3 full ATRs away from the mean. The mean is simply the 21 EMA right through here. So we're at plus 3 ATR. What does that mean? Does that mean that I get bearish and that I need to buy a bunch of puts and that the market's going to fall apart? Of course not. It just means that maybe we are due for something like this, where we come up, we sort of go sideways, we maybe pull back to the trailing 8 EMA, which is here, and then we probably continue higher, right? We're in a new bull market. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of excitement, especially around tech names, AI stocks, right? And the Qs are very, very, very strong. And, lo and behold, if we zoom out a little bit, look, the Qs aren't really all that high. I'm sorry, all that far from old all-time highs. All of a sudden, here we are. We're only, 22 points away on the QQQ. That's one good month, right? That's one good month. And we're at new highs on the NASDAQ, which is frankly amazing, considering how long we spent down here chopping around doing nothing, right? But that means for me at this point, I can't come in and chase names like Apple, right? We're at fresh highs. I can't come in here and chase names like NVIDIA. Now, if you're day trading these things, that's great. That's different if you've got a trade set up that's a 5-minute chart or a 30-minute chart. Okay, cool. But from a swing perspective, I can't come in and chase these names. I've got to find names that have fresh setups with squeezes and that are closer to, or have already pulled back to the mean. The SPX is sort of the same way, right? If we zoom in here, we can see the SPX is up here at plus 3 ATR. The last time that happened, we didn't fall apart and die. We just pulled back a little bit. Right here, 3 ATR, we just pull back a little bit. So I'm looking for something similar here, potentially, where we just maybe go sideways. Nothing, it doesn't even have to be a deep pullback, just a little bit of a pause and up through here. So one way that I think you can sort of play that is to sell a call credit spread up here, at 4520, 4500, just with the idea that on one day this week, can we get a little bit of selling to take profits on that pull? And keeping in mind, especially to not chase extended names, especially extended tech names. You've got Wednesday, you've got Netflix coming out. We're getting the tech earnings season started with the Netflix earnings on Wednesday right here, the 19th after market. And then you also have Tesla coming up on the 19th after market. And then next week we've got, all the big tech names. We've got Google, we've got Amazon, Apple coming up in early August. And then we've got a slew of tech names that all start to come out end of July, early August. So we're getting into that tech earnings season, and that's probably going to be the driver of the markets for August, really. So the name that I'm watching, the name that I'm looking for is AMD. Now, this is a name, as you'll note, it's not up here at 3 ATR, right? It's down here near, yesterday it hit the 21 EMA. Almost every day, well, really every day except for, what was this, Friday last week, AMD has touched the 21 EMA, right? It's hanging out around the mean. It's not extended. So we also notice that we have a daily squeeze getting started, and AMD has earnings on August 1st. So my thought here is, can we pick up AMD around the 21 EMA, or better yet, around the 55 EMA, right down through here, for a run into this earnings date right here, which is on August the 1st. All right, that's a Tuesday, so 2 weeks from today. So my plan, my thought, my idea is, can I get entry off of this volume profile right here, which lines up with the 21 EMA, which is about 115. That's kind of like the aggressive entry is around 115. Or better yet, can I wait and catch a little bit of a pullback, right? Noting that the indexes are at plus 3 ATR. Can we get a little bit of a pullback? Maybe Wednesday, Netflix and Tesla aren't, running higher after hours. Maybe there's a little bit of market weakness on Thursday. Maybe I can get AMD on a quick dip down into my pullback zone here between 110 and 111. And you say, okay, well, why that area? Well, a couple of different reasons. Number one, I've got a big volume level right here. And I've got a pullback zone here that correlates with the 55 EMA, which for me, that's my favorite place to buy on a dip. Buy a strong stop. If it gets to the 55, most of the time, a strong stock will hold that level. So ultimately, ideally, between 110 and 111 in AMD would be a gift. I would love that. As far as which options to pick up, note that earnings are this week right here. We said August 1st. So this week right here, August 4th. And I would come out and pick up. Now, keep in mind, remember, I want to buy around 110. So the option prices are going to be a little different because AMD closed at 118. So ideally, if AMD drops about, $6-7, I would like to buy these, what would then be out of the money, 115 calls or even the 120 calls, out of the money calls, because I'm buying during the earnings series. So the IV, the implied volatility, will stay elevated because there's a known volatility event. So I'm looking at the 115, maybe the 120 calls for August the 4th in AMD. Again, aggressive entry is going to be off of 115 right here, 21 EMA and a volume level. More conservative entry is off of 110 to 111, again, correlating with a volume level, as well as the daily 55 EMA. All right, so that's what I've got. I hope it helps, and I will talk to you all soon. Thanks for watching.